Today we are building a website completely from scratch, no experience needed, and we are leveraging AI. However, we're not making the website look like AI slop. Hi, my name is Kaylee and I am a business student here in Toronto and trying to figure out how to leverage AI in our daily lives. Breaking it down so simply that even a business student can keep up. So if you learn at least one thing in this video, hit subscribe to join the gang. I'm going to teach you how to go from this to this in less than 30 minutes. And I'm not just building a random website. I actually found a local restaurant, so I'm just redesigning it as a real example. So stick around until the very end because I'm going to shoot my shot and cold email the owner live and see if they could become a potential client. Now, I do want to be upfront with you that this video is not about design process at all. There is no Figma, there is no wireframing, there is no deep design thinking. This is just purely, hey, I need a website ASAP. I want it fast. I want to make it look professional, look good. However, if you do want a full version on where I walk through a real design thinking process from start to finish, just let me know down in the comments below. But for today, we are making a website fast. Let's get started. Before we dive in, here's exactly what we are covering in this video. There are 6 steps that any non-techie can do. So first, set up your tools, install everything. 3, find your inspiration. 4, write a prompt, let AI build it. 5, screenshot and reiterate. And 6, finally deploy it with just one click. That's it, let's go. 8, setting up. So you need 2 tools for this to download, Cursor and Claude Code. Let's talk about each one first. Let's start off with Cursor. Cursor is a IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. I know this sounds super intimidating, especially for those who are non-techies, but just think of it like this. You know how Microsoft Word is where you write documents, right? A IDE is where you write code. It's just a text editor, but built specifically for coding. It highlights your code, helps you navigate files, and runs through your entire project. Cursor is one of the more popular ones right now just because it has AI integrated into it. However, if you have VS Code, which is another very popular IDE editor, it's the same thing because we are using Claude Code in this sense to help us code, so any IDE works. Now moving on to Claude Code. Claude Code is a AI coding agent, meaning that it doesn't just suggest code like a regular AI assistant, for example, ChatGPT. It actually goes into your project, writes the files, makes changes, and builds the things for you. So it does the heavy lifting in this project. You talk it in plain English, just prompting like, hey, I want to build a website, and it codes for you. However, you do need to pay for a subscription, but for what it produces, I think it is absolutely worth it. Now, before you touch any AI, you are going to create a markdown file. A markdown file is just a plain text file with the extension of .md instead of .txt. So think of it like a notes document, very simple, clean, no fancy formatting. The reason why we need to use this is that AI tools read markdown really, really well, and that's the first document that they would ever read. So it becomes your holy grail, your source of truth that Claude Code would always refer back to every single time when you prompt. So what do you actually put in a MD file? Well, everything about you and your website. So in this case, what I included is, hey, this is the title or the name of the local restaurant. What is the aesthetic? What kind of color or color palette I want to use? And also what are the contexts that I want to create. In this sense, I only want to create a landing page. I don't want to create any other stuff like reservation, bookings, that might be a separate video. For this, it's just a landing page. So yeah, make sure you define your scope very, very well and very detailed from the get-go before prompting because it will save you so much time. So as you can see, this is Cursor and we're going to open a new project. First of all, go to folder. I'm going to create a new folder and let's just say restaurant website because that's what we are doing. Okay, awesome. So now we open project, click on the folder that you want all of your code to be in, and that will be restaurant website. This is the IDE, the interface that you will see. Since Cursor has AI integrated into its platform, you can see the new agent. This is Cursor. This is limited because we are on the free plan. And also for today, we are using Claude Code since we already paid for that. So how do we start? How do we get Claude Code to run? First of all, make sure to go to extensions. So make sure that you go to the left bar. As you can see, there's like this puzzle making icon. That is the icon that stands for extensions. And you need to download Claude Code for VS Code in order to integrate your Claude Code into your IDE. So make sure you download this one, install, and then you are set to go. Okay, cool. So now we're done with this. So now we can actually start activating Claude Code. So Claude Code, unlike other LLMs that you used before, like for example, chat, for example, Gemini, they have a chat box. Claude Code is used within the terminal, and that's how they actually access to your files, folders, and make immediate changes. So go to the left top corner, you would see terminal here. Click on that, new terminal. And then you'll see something pop at the bottom, and this is where your terminal lies. All you need to activate Claude is just type in Claude, and then it'll show up. Yes, I trust this folder, and then boom. There we go. Welcome back, Kaylee. Okay, so now we finished step 1 and 2, which is download Cursor, integrate Claude Code, and pay for a Claude Code subscription, unfortunately. Well, now the last part to the first part is to create a MD file. And since I already explained what an MD file is, usually I like to go to Claude to create an MD file for me. I want to redesign a restaurant website. Can you create a MD file for me? And then you need to include details. Before creating the MD file, I did some research on the website that I want to redesign. In this case, it's called Lao Lao Bar, which is a restaurant. I just put some notes on, the vibe that I want, like authentic, vibrant, the food taste, and also I chose a color palette on the website that I wanted to look like. Let me just think, is there anything else that I want? Yes, just want to create one page, landing page. Let's hit the enter bar and then see what Claude gives me. Sometimes it's too vague, then you have to go back in and reiterate until you're satisfied with how detailed the MD file is. But key takeaway here is you want your MD file to be as specific as possible, so make sure you plan ahead. Because if it's super, super vague, AI doesn't know what you want, right? So then you need more iteration, then you're wasting more time, yada, yada, yada. Developer landing page redesign, okay, branding essence. Okay, so now I'm looking at the page sections, the structure, and if it looks good, then honestly, low-key, I might just use this on the first try. I do like what they have here for the landing page. Very simplistic and straight to the point. Aesthetic direction. Yes, yes, yes. I do like that. Okay, what to avoid? Yes. I think this is good enough for first try. Oh, okay, I'm gonna open folder, and then I'm just gonna put that file in. Yep, you see, here's the MD file. Put it into the restaurant website, and then boom. There we go. As you can see, now you can see the MD file within the folder of restaurant website. I want to show you how the website would look like without the skills. So let's see. Can you create a landing page for this? Okay. So this is without using Claude Skills, and we just say yes, allow reading from downloads during this session. Here's the problem with AI generated websites. They all start to look the same. If you see something like this, or this with, I don't know, like light purple pastel background, you could instantly clock it that it is made by AI. So we don't want that, right? But we still want to use AI. Well, there are 2 ways to fix this or to help it look more customized and non-AI slop-like. The first one is using Claude Skills. So skills are specialized playbooks that you install within Claude that make it consistently better at specific tasks. So instead of Claude using its default approach to build our UI or the front end design skills, Skills actually gives it a higher standard, so it gives a rubric, better spacing, better typography, just better and more intentional components. The second tool that we could customize our website with is this website called 21st Dev. This is a library of premium pre-built UI components. So there's hero sections, navigation bars, cards, everything that you could think of, all built to very customized, very high standards. You can browse, find something that you like, and you could either just drop it directly in your project by copying the prompt, or you could hand it to Claude as a reference. So this is how you get that very custom premium feel without designing anything from scratch. So these two together means that you're giving AI much better ingredients, and better ingredients leads to better results.
Okay, it's actually not that bad for just one prompt, one empty file. Okay, let's see, after integrating the Claude Skills, what are the differences? So these are the plugins for the front-end design skills. Let me put that in. Just paste it into your terminal. Yeah, it seems like you can only do one plugin at a time. So we did that one. Let's do the front-end plugin as well. Okay, front end design skills to redesign the restaurant. And usually I just like to copy the components, some of the backgrounds, maybe get some inspos, but essentially it's just to level up your entire website interface. For example, I'm at the call to action right now. There's a bunch of stuff that we could, use. And what you do is just copy prompt. That's it. Copy prompt. So this is how the prompt looks like. You're given a task, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. It's just a bunch of code. And it's just telling the IDE, the interface that you're working with, so cursor, what to build and how to build it. Well, I'm actually kind of impressed. Claude Skills. I'm actually kind of impressed. Okay, oh, sorry. This is really nice. The flavors that stay dried to taste. Oh, wait, how do I customize? Yeah, wait, just dried to menu. That's really cool. And I'm really like hover over, and then it has like a description of what the food is, and it has a link signature. Okay, grilled, spicy, slow cooked, and it has beautiful menu. Okay, I'm very surprised. Like, I thought, the internet is new. Okay, and then it has the layout. Pictures. I will incorporate that in the folder. Every table is the best seat in the house. Every night feels like the last night of summer. Damn, add some fire code, and then there's the action. Combine as preserve table, and then call preserve.
Time for inspiration. If you still think that the website looks like AI slop, or it looks just missing that touch of human, creativity, well, what you could do is find inspiration online. And there are a lot of resources such as awards, Mobin, and Dribble. And obviously, I have a video dedicated to all of the website resources that I've been using before, so make sure to check that out. But these are the most popular ones. I just incorporated a bunch of pictures that I found on their website and put it all into a folder. As you can see, 7 pictures within the restaurant website. And now this is how the website looks like. Looks pretty good, right? Looks cute, cute, cute. Anyway, so technically speaking, you could just deploy this website already because it looks pretty good. However, I still want to show you how to do screenshots, reiterations, especially if AI isn't able to get the, preferred aesthetic as you hope for on your first try. There are websites, as I mentioned before. Well, we're gonna use Dribble. Dribble is one of the websites that have a lot of inspirations, and I really like the hero structure here, like the hero section. And low-key, I want to incorporate that into my own website. So what we are going to do is take a screenshot of this as inspo. Am I able to paste it in? I'm able to paste in a picture here. Yeah, if you have any questions, honestly, just ask Claude Code. Okay, so I could paste a image directly here. Also, can you incorporate Sabidi? Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Yes, Sabidi into the text. It means hello in See how well this turns out. Okay, there we go. There we go. I'll change a little bit because I feel like the sobriety is way too big. It should be smaller. I want the text to be more condensed. Like, I actually really like this. I think this looks pretty good. Personally enjoy it. So let's see how we could deploy it, because this is the last step, is the most important part, which is how to actually export this local website onto the internet. Okay, so now your website is built and it looks great. Now we need to get it actually live on the internet. This is the part where a lot of people get stuck, so I'm going to make it as simple as possible. So there are two tools that you need to know. So there's GitHub and Vercel. Let me explain what both are before we touch anything. So what is GitHub? GitHub is essentially a cloud storage platform for your code. So think of it as Google Drive, but specifically built for code files. It keeps a copy of your entire project online, so it's safe, accessible from anywhere, and has full history of every change that you've ever made. The reason we need it here is that Vercel, which is the platform that actually hosts and publish your websites, actually connects directly to GitHub. So Vercel watches your GitHub repository, which is your folder, and every time you push a update, you want to change a website, for example, it automatically will redeploy your website. So the workflow becomes, hey, you make a change on your laptop, push it to GitHub, Vercel picks it up, and your live site updates. No manual uploading, no FTP, nothing too complicated. So first things first, the first step is go to github.com and create a free account if you don't have one. The free tier is all you need for this project. Once you have an account, you need to create a repository, which is just a folder on GitHub that holds your entire project. Think of it as creating a new Google Drive folder and uploading your project into it. On the left sidebar, click the source control icon. It looks like a little branch. Click publish to GitHub and give your repository a name. Choose whether it's public or private and hit publish. That's it. Your project is now on GitHub. If you want to keep it private, that's totally fine. Vercel can still access it. Now, step 3 is go to vercel.com and sign up. Here's a shortcut. You can just sign up using your GitHub account. Click continue with GitHub and authorize it. This connects the two platforms instantly so that Vercel can see all of your repositories. Free tier on Vercel is more than enough for a website like this. So once you're in the Vercel dashboard, you can click on add new, then project. Vercel will then show you a list of all of your GitHub repositories. Find the one that you just created and click import. Vercel automatically will detect what type of framework your project is built with, Next.js, plain HTML, whatever it may be, and then configures the settings for you. So you don't need to change anything, just click deploy. So in about 60 seconds, your Vercel finishes building your site and gives you a live URL. So it will look like something like this, blah.vercel.app. So you could send that to anyone now because it's a real live website on the internet. However, bonus step is if you want a custom domain and you don't want that .vercel.app, well, you need to go buy a domain yourself. So buying a domain could look like going to Namecheap or Google Domains, cost anywhere from $2 to $15 per year, depending on what name you want it to be. So then in your Vercel dashboard, you could go to your project settings and click domains. Type in your custom domain and click add. Vercel gives you a couple of DNS records to copy. Go into your domain registrar, wherever you bought the domain, and find the DNS settings. Paste those records in, takes about 5 minutes to set up, and anywhere from a few minutes to 48 hours to fully propagate. So key takeaway here is GitHub stores your code, Vercel publishes it. So every time you make a change and you commit to GitHub, just updating GitHub, hey, I made a change, make sure to update it, then Vercel, which is instantly connected to GitHub right now, would republish or redeploy your website so that your website stays up to date. So there it is, from this to that in under 30 minutes. 6 steps, no design degree, no coding experience, and no back and forth. Now, remember at the very start, I said, hey, I'm gonna shoot my shot. I just sent the cold email to the owner of this business. I'll update you in the next video on whether this turns out to be an actual client or did I just get ghosted. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. And if this gave you the idea to do the same thing, to build a site for a local business and cold email them, let me know down in the comments below, because I'm actually thinking of making a video where I take this exact template, refresh it with AI for a different similar business, and walk through the entire cold email process and see how many cold emails it takes for one client or how many emails it takes for one person or for one potential client to reply with. So subscribe if you want that video. Anyways, I'm Kaylee. See you in the next video.